The rain crashed violently against the massive glass windows of the Okafor mansion while thunder rolled across the Lagos sky, and inside one of the richest homes in the country, billionaire businessman Malik Okafor sat alone at the end of a long dining table that could seat 20 people, staring silently at untouched food while his beautiful wife Vanessa scrolled through her phone without even pretending to care that her husband had barely spoken all evening. To the outside world, they were everything people envied. Power, money, luxury, perfection. But inside that mansion, their marriage had already become a prison built from lies, betrayal, and silence. Vanessa had stopped loving Malik a long time ago, although truthfully, she was not even sure she had ever loved him at all. She loved the lifestyle, the attention, the designer dresses, the private jets, the endless access to money, but Malik himself had simply become a stepping stone to a life she believed she deserved. And lately, she had grown impatient. Very impatient. Malik noticed the coldness growing between them, but every time he tried to fix things, Vanessa would either start an argument or disappear for days claiming she needed space. The more he tried to hold on to the marriage, the more distant she became, and what hurt him most was the fact that she no longer even tried to hide her disrespect. One evening during a luxury gala at their mansion, Vanessa laughed a little too comfortably beside Kelvin, Malik's closest friend and business partner, while guests danced around them beneath crystal chandeliers glowing with soft golden light. Malik approached them with a tired smile. "You two seem to be enjoying yourselves." Vanessa smirked before taking a sip of champagne. "At least someone around here still knows how to have fun." Kelvin laughed awkwardly, but his eyes avoided Malik completely. Malik noticed it immediately. Something felt wrong. And standing quietly near the staircase holding a tray of drinks was Zara, the young maid who had worked in the mansion for less than a year. Unlike the other staff members who feared Vanessa and worshipped Malik's wealth, Zara mostly kept to herself, moving through the mansion with calm quietness that somehow made Malik feel more at peace whenever she was nearby. She noticed things nobody else noticed. The sadness in Malik's eyes. The tension in Vanessa's voice. The secret glances between Vanessa and Kelvin. And the deeper she observed them, the more uneasy she became. Later that night, after the gala ended and most of the guests had gone home, Zara walked down the hallway toward the private lounge carrying fresh towels when she suddenly heard voices inside. Vanessa's voice. Sharp, cold, dangerous. "We cannot keep waiting forever," Vanessa whispered impatiently. Kelvin lowered his voice nervously. "Are you sure this will work?" Vanessa pulled a tiny bottle from her purse and smiled slowly. "Once he drinks this tonight, the doctors will call it a heart attack by morning." Kelvin hesitated for a second. "And after that?" Vanessa stepped closer to him, wrapping her arms around his neck. "After that, my grieving widow act begins, and we finally get everything." Then she kissed him. Zara froze outside the door. Her entire body went cold. At first, she thought she misunderstood what she had heard, but deep inside, she already knew the truth. Vanessa and Kelvin were planning to kill Malik. Her hands trembled violently as she backed away from the door, her breathing becoming shallow. For a brief moment, she considered staying quiet because people like her did not interfere in the lives of billionaires. People like her were invisible. Nobody protected maids when powerful people became angry. But then she remembered the way Malik always thanked the staff politely when nobody else did. The way he noticed when employees were tired. The way he once paid for a driver's daughter's surgery without telling anyone. And suddenly, staying silent became impossible. A few minutes later, Malik sat alone inside his office upstairs while rain poured outside the windows behind him. Exhausted from the evening, he loosened his tie and reached for the glass of whiskey waiting beside him on the table. Downstairs, Vanessa watched security cameras from her phone while Kelvin stood beside her, both waiting silently. "This is it," Vanessa whispered. Upstairs, Malik slowly lifted the glass toward his lips. But suddenly the office door burst open. "Sir, don't drink that." Malik turned in shock just as Zara rushed forward and slapped the glass from his hand. The crystal shattered across the marble floor. Whiskey splashed everywhere. For one stunned second, nobody spoke. Then Vanessa stormed into the room pretending outrage. "What is wrong with you?" she screamed at Zara. "Have you lost your mind?" Zara stepped backward trembling badly, tears forming in her eyes. It was poisoned, she whispered weakly. The room fell silent. Malik stared at her. Vanessa laughed dramatically. Poisoned? Are you hearing yourself? This girl is insane. But Malik's eyes never left Zara's face because what he saw there was not manipulation. It was fear, real fear, and slowly, something inside him shifted. Everybody out, Malik said quietly. Vanessa's expression changed instantly. Malik, I said everybody out. For the first time in years, his voice carried cold authority. Hours later, private investigators tested the whiskey. And Zara was right. Poison. The revelation exploded like a bomb inside the Okafor empire. At first Vanessa denied everything, crying endlessly and accusing Zara of trying to seduce her husband, but the lies began collapsing one after another when hidden security footage revealed Kelvin secretly entering the lounge before the poisoned drink was delivered upstairs. Then investigators uncovered hotel reservations, hidden bank transfers, burner phones, and thousands of messages between Vanessa and Kelvin discussing Malik's death as if it were a business transaction. The media went insane. Television stations replayed the scandal day and night. Billionaire's wife in murder plot. Cheating scandal rocks Lagos elite. Best friend betrays billionaire. And through all the chaos, Malik completely shattered emotionally. Not because of the money. Because of the betrayal. One night, long after the scandal broke, Malik sat alone beside the mansion pool staring into the dark water while the city lights reflected softly around him. Zara quietly approached carrying a cup of tea before gently setting it beside him. You should sleep, sir, she said softly. Malik laughed bitterly without looking at her. Do I look like a man who can sleep? Zara hesitated before sitting beside him carefully. For several seconds, neither of them spoke. Then Malik finally looked at her. Why did you save me? Zara lowered her eyes. Because you did not deserve to die. Malik studied her face quietly. No greed, no manipulation, no performance, just honesty. And for the first time in years, he felt peace sitting beside someone. As weeks passed, the bond between them deepened naturally. Malik found himself searching for excuses to talk to her longer. He learned she loved painting at night when everyone else was asleep. He learned she raised her younger brother alone after losing both parents. He learned she had survived hardships Vanessa could never even imagine. And somewhere between late-night conversations, healing wounds, and quiet laughter, Malik fell in love with her. Not loudly, not suddenly, slowly, the kind of love that feels safe after surviving destruction. But peace never lasts long in Nollywood stories. When Vanessa discovered Malik was moving on emotionally, her rage became uncontrollable. Desperate for revenge, she leaked fake stories to bloggers claiming Zara had secretly been Malik's mistress long before the poisoning scandal. The internet turned cruel overnight. Gold digger, homewrecker, manipulative maid. Zara became the target of endless public humiliation. And one morning, she disappeared. No goodbye, no explanation. Malik searched desperately for weeks until he finally discovered the truth through an old family lawyer connected to his late father. Years earlier, Malik's father had secretly funded scholarships for struggling children across Nigeria. One of those children was Zara. Long before she became a maid in the mansion, Malik's family had unknowingly helped save her life. And Zara had taken the maid job hoping to someday personally thank the family that changed her future forever. But instead, she accidentally fell in love. When Malik finally found her standing inside a small art studio near the beach, tears filled his eyes immediately. Why didn't you tell me? He asked softly. Zara looked down emotionally. Because I never wanted you to think I stayed because of what your family did for me. Malik stepped closer slowly. And why did you stay? Zara's voice cracked. Because somewhere along the way, you became my home. Malik pulled her into his arms immediately as tears rolled down both their faces. Meanwhile, Vanessa and Kelvin completely destroyed each other in court. Kelvin exposed Vanessa's financial crimes to reduce his sentence, and Vanessa retaliated by revealing Kelvin's secret offshore accounts and criminal deals. The lovers who once planned murder together ended up ruining each other publicly. In the end, greed consumed them both. And months later, beneath glowing golden lights and soft music, Malik stood smiling emotionally at the altar while Zara walked toward him in a breathtaking white gown, her eyes filled with tears and disbelief. The guests rose to their feet as Malik whispered softly when she finally reached him. "You saved my life." Zara smiled through tears. "No, we saved each other." And as the ceremony continued beneath warm candlelight and joyful applause, everyone in that room understood something powerful. Real love is not always found in luxury, status, or beauty. Sometimes, real love is the person who risks everything to protect you when the people closest to you are trying to destroy you. Like, comment, share and subscribe to Twinsation Talk Stories by Fierce and Fabulous for more emotional storytelling, viral plot twists, luxury drama, African-inspired stories, and unforgettable endings.